These are the top 10 lifts that built my physique. These are the lifts that took me from looking like this, a skinny, underweight, twig looking teenager who had no confidence, couldn't talk to any girls, to this, a confident young man who still unfortunately can't talk to girls, but at least I've got a decent looking physique, right? Right. So, in no particular order, let's dive straight in. Coming in at number 10, the cable tricep pushdown. This exercise has always been good to me. I've never had a problem with it, whether I'm doing it with rope, straight bar, V-bar, it doesn't matter. I've never failed to feel a contraction. It's always giving me the pump. It's always giving me next day DOMs. This exercise is just one of them ones that I've never had a bad run with it. I could always rely on it, whether I'm just doing a shitty little half-assed workout and I want to get a quick tricep pump, or I'm actually taking my training seriously. The cable tricep pushdown, regardless of attachments, even when I was using this terrible form, I can't even believe this is me watching this clip back. Even when I was using this terrible form, gains were being made because this exercise is just so fucking beautiful for me. I don't know how, somehow. Coming in at number 2, pull-ups. Now this is where things get interesting because I've never been good at pull-ups. My weighted pull-up isn't impressive. The amount of pull-ups I can do, body weight, isn't impressive. However, every time I watch back one of my old videos, I always find myself doing pull-ups. Back when I was skinny, underweight, had no idea how life works, I was always doing some sort of pull-up. Even in lockdown, 2020 lockdown, when I got fat, I bought a pull-up bar for £10 and I was just doing it with like 5 kilos attached to me. So I've always been doing some sort of pull-ups. And when I look at my back, when I look at the width, I always feel that, you know what? I think some of this width, I think some of these gains have to be attributed to the pull-up. Well, not some, a large majority. Despite the fact, sorry, that is so buzz. So, distribute that way. Sorry about that. Some of my width has to be attributed to the pull-up, despite the fact that I'm not even good at them. I don't really know how that works, but yeah, number 9, pull-up. Now, number 8, 7, and 6 are going to be grouped together because the reasoning and rationale behind why I do these exercises and why they've built me muscle is all the same. These 3 exercises are the squat, the bench press, and the overhead press. All free weights, all using a barbell, and all following the Alpha Destiny philosophy. Back when I started training, I was a huge fanboy of what the fuck? I was a huge fanboy of Alpha Destiny, and I still am, but I copied everything he would do. And he was big on bench press, and he was big on overhead press especially. Now, after I moved on from my Alpha Destiny phase, I moved into the Mark Cripito phase, which is like starting strength-based athletic movements for athletes. And he's a big fan of barbells and those 3 movements. So I took those 3 movements really seriously for a good 2 years. And I managed to put up some, decent-ish numbers. I got overhead press 60 kg for 3 sets of 5. That's decent. Benched 115, paused, squatted 170 for 5 with questionable form, I will say that, but decent. So honestly, I have to say the squat, bench, and overhead press definitely contributed massively to my physique, undoubtedly. Now, coming in at number 5 is an exercise that I've incorporated in the last 6 to 8 months. This is an exercise heavily inspired by the TikTok optimal bodybuilding community, and that is the seated hamstring curl. The seated hamstring curl has never failed to give me DOMs, a pump, good contractions, and I've always felt stable on the machine. Now, of course, the brand of machine does matter, but when I grip onto the seat and I pull myself into it and I curl my hamstrings and the leg pad is positioned at the exact perfect spot, the contractions I get, the DOMs I get, the muscle disruption, growth, gains is out of this world. Every single time I do this exercise for a hard 3 sets, close to failure of course, I always find it hard to bend over. Like I can never touch my toes, I can never throw it back, I can never touch the ground. I'm fucked, I'm always fucked. Now, if you guys are interested in making the type of gains I've made, if it's about time you stop wasting your days in the gym and take the guesswork out of training, then it's only right you get your hands on my free hypertrophy program. For completely free, you get everything you see on screen in addition to my contact details, so you can message me personally. I can help you out with anything you need free of charge. Click the first link in the description and I'll send it over to you in the next 1 minute. Number 4, face pulls. Again, Alpha Destiny inspired. I'll be honest. But on that note, face pulls, I was also a big fan of them because they corrected my shoulder issues. So I used to have such kyphotic posture in which I would be bent over and my shoulders would roll forward. But when I started supersetting banded face pulls in between all my bench press sets, that problem instantly got eradicated. I was able to retract my scapula and now I have a better posture. Now everything is just so much better with face pulls in it. Number 3, preacher curls. Despite the fact I've got really weak wrists and I always get wrist pain, preacher curls have always been beautiful to me. The peak contraction I can get at the top is lovely. I love doing them. Well, I was always doing them with an easy bar on a preacher curl station, and I really do like the free weight variant. However, I have to give props to a good preacher curl machine. The one you're seeing on screen now has treated me well. I like to do 4 sets of preacher curls on my second upper day, and it's one of them ones where I could sit here and tell you a million different good things about preacher curls, but then this video is going to drag. So just know that preacher curls have built my physique. They give me the peak on my bicep, despite the fact that my bicep insertions are very, very long. Preacher curls are amazing. Number 2, chest supported rows, chest supported machine rows. More specifically, the hammer strength one. Now, all of them kind of do the same thing because they're all chest supported and you can choose different arm angles to pull with. But this particular one you're seeing on screen, I've always loved it. I always have. What I like to do is I put the seat on max height. I put something on the chest pad to increase the range of motion, usually a yoga block. I wear straps every single time and I hit a nice little 3 sets. First set between 5 and 10, next 2 sets between 8 and 12, and for months this has been good for me. I like the pump, I like the pull-in motion. Chest supported takes the lower back out of it and it's a very comfortable machine. This is something that I would highly recommend. If you guys have this particular one, I recommend it. But of course there's a million other variants. Just any chest supported rowing machine is fucking beautiful. On that note, the last exercise that I'm going to include in this list is a T-bar row. Now, I've been a big fan of T-bar rows without chest support. I've been doing them without chest support for years. So the case of am I gonna recommend it with chest support or not? It's not really that big of a deal. I will say one chest support variant that I do, the Nautilus one, is damn fucking good. But even if you do it without chest support, you're gonna make a fuck ton of gains. And I have to attribute a lot of my back thickness to the T-bar row. That said, if I'm on your screen right now, then I've kept your interest somehow. Make sure you leave a comment below of what video you guys want to see next. You guys know I always listen to the people and I always make videos based on my comment suggestion. With that said, click the first thing in the description, get your hands on my free hypertrophy program, and I shall catch you guys in the next one.